Hiya, pals. Hi, pals, and welcome to the Disneyland Paris Show. Here's your hosts, Lucy, Chris, and Hugh. Gosh. And now, Disneyland Paris News. Christmas nights.
Princesses in the Wild.
Rosalie opening. That was the news.
Oh.
That was a bit clever with your multi-angle setup there, Chris.
Yeah, I know. It was hastily thrown together today after my travel through the snow to get here.
Oh, yeah. Up the drive.
Up the drive, yeah.
Up the drive round the corner.
Up the 25-minute drive.
How was Milan, young man?
Do you know what? Milan was really, really good. I had a very interesting meal out where we went to someone's house and they cooked for us. And yeah, it was a bit of a calamity. It was pretty awesome.
Is that a meal out? Is that a meal out?
Well, it kind of is. We paid to go and have a meal out, but we had to make the meal ourselves. So we made pasta and we made tiramisu. And it was the other end of Milan. And when we got off the tube, off the metro at the other end of Milan, there was a 2-kilometre walk to some flats. And on the flats, we were on like the 13th floor or something. When we got up there, the door opened and all you could smell was a glorious, beautiful smell
of death.
Of stale cigarettes.
Oh, no.
And you know you're in for a good night when you're going to go and cook in someone's house and it stinks of stale cigarettes.
Smoky.
But it gets better. I'm sorry, because it's really worth telling this story.
This sounds like the start of a horror movie.
It gets better. It gets better. So she says, well, we've got wine and we've got beer. So if you'd like some wine, you can have wine. So we had a look at it. It was red wine and it was called Vin Rosso. The white one was called Vin Bianco.
No.
So you can see where this is going. 2 minutes later, we just got drinks served up. 2 minutes later, there's a knock at the door. Oh, who's this? She says. She goes and opens it, goes, oh, it's my son. Her son was being dropped off. Her son stayed for the entire evening, dancing around in the living room with the television on in the background whilst we were stood around trying to cook food and stuff. It was the most bizarre experience ever. And then, whilst we were eating, the door over by the toilet suddenly opened up, a bedroom door. And there's a guy asleep in there.
No.
Rolling about in his bed.
This
For 10
isn't
minutes,
real.
the door's wide open. The door shuts and we go. On the way home, on our 2K walk back to the train station, we one of the guys said, I didn't want to say at the time, but the eggs were 2 days out of date.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So we sat on the train on the way back going, and everyone else in the team was saying, oh, it was the worst meal ever. And the guy who organised it said, I'm so sorry, it's absolutely awful. And I was laughing so much. And they're like, why are you laughing? I said, well, we're never going to forget this day, are we? It was genuinely the best experience of my life because I love stuff like that.
I have questions, though.
Go.
Why? How did you end up here? What was the scenario? Is this like a cooking school or like a meet a local dating agency or something? How did you end up there?
Well, they wanted an experience, so he went and looked on Airbnb to see what was available, and this was one of the suggestions. This woman, though, she used to have a job before COVID, and then she was out of a job, and she started doing this to try and make some extra money, I guess. But she got 4.8 stars on Airbnb, so I thought it was a safe bet, and it wasn't. It was just awful and gloriously awful. Honestly, I can't tell you.
It was cook your own meal. It was like a cooking school.
Well, we made pasta. We made a tiramisu.
Okay.
And it was the worst tiramisu I've ever had. Not because of how we'd made it, but because of the recipe that she used.
Because the eggs were out of date.
Well, yeah, that as well. And then we made the pasta. And the pasta itself was really nice. But we made the pasta and then she disappeared into the kitchen and made the sauces and stuff. So we didn't even get to do that bit of it. But there is one good thing that came out of all of this, which was I've made pasta in the past. And I've got a pasta machine. And I got it out today, and we made pasta with the boys. And Ollie was so excited when he made it. He was going, I've made spaghetti!
We made pasta with the boys. Sounds a lot more gruesome than...
It does.
Not from the boys.
It sounds street, does that?
No, I mean like...
pasta with the boys.
No, I mean like you've used the boys to make the pasta.
Oh, you're going the Sweeney Todd route.
Used the boys to make the pasta.
Well, Christopher, that
Yes.
sounds amazing. And you know what? In a week when Disneyland Paris are putting the prices of their mediocre food up again, sounds like a viable option.
Beautiful segue, Lucy.
In it.
Beautiful.
I'll always bring it back to Disney.
There was a crackle at the top of the show. I don't know if it was... So I'm just not touching anything, so I don't know.
Interesting.
Like, maybe just don't touch your mic.
If there's a buzz, I apologise for that. I'm midway through resolving all of this because I'm going old school. I'm going back to our original podcast microphones. However, one of them is a bit faulty, so I'm trying to get a replacement for it, which I'll have in the next couple of weeks. And when I've got that, we'll be going back to super quality podcasty stuff. How does that sound? Oh, the chat says it's disconnected at the moment on here, which is done sometimes before.
We need to chat, guys.
Oh, it's just on there, isn't it?
It's just on there. You can all chat, can't
Usually,
you?
if you switch it over, it comes back.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, this might be a good chance to see who we've got with us today.
Yes.
We were off last week, and I always feel like people might forget about us
Yeah.
if we're away.
Who are they?
Nice.
All aboard, please. Well, today, first in the chat was Emily. 24 days left. We just checked our Le Shuttle booking is all in order. We have a truck, and even with our registration details, they've put us as a low vehicle. Okay.
Nice.
Check the limit is 185, and we're 185.5 at the highest point, so that's one excuse to fill up with extra clothes, snacks, and Christmas decorations. Wish us luck. Good luck.
You need to take some air out of your tyres.
Bon chance. John says, hey guys, getting in the chat nice and early. You did, John. Hope everybody's good. Full of good cheer. Put the tree up yesterday. Good stuff. We put ours up last week, which for us was a week late.
We put our first tree up on Saturday, and we put our second tree up today.
Oh.
Wow.
I put the Christmas lights on the outside yesterday, but we are mid-November Christmas tree people.
It's really bad crackling, apparently. Is it me? It's usually me.
Right, I'll do some investigating now to figure out what.
Oh dear. Well, we will persist.
Oh gosh, that's really bad.
Oh God.
Yeah, even Bonnie's going buzz, buzz, buzz.
Don't touch anything, Lucy. Bear with.
Sorry, you keep talking, it's fine. Just ignore me.
Okay. Right, so Gareth is here and says, sorry, can't make the show today. Off to DLP in the morning. Well, if there's ever a good excuse, it's that. Let's start with this one. Says, hey everyone, so glad you are back this week. The Dunn family says, 23 days till the Dunn family are at DLP, Boxing Day, so can't wait. Is it randomly just coming in, this crackle?
No, I think it's mine.
I'm dealing with Lucy, it's fine.
Okay.
Should we close upon Hugh?
Maria says, hi, no countdown for me, but just a big plus 35 days since we went to DLP and the Disney Blues are still hitting hard. Now, Sam says, I have arrived. He either means, or they either mean that they've arrived at DLP, but I like to think that Sam just announces whenever they enter a room, I have arrived like
As
that.
Rosie O'Donnell says in Tarzan, the fun has arrived.
Mm-hmm.
I also just called Tarzan, as in Spider-Man. Tarzan.
So,
Am I allowed to say Tarzan
Tarzan.
instead of Tarzan?
I mean, it's better than dwarves versus dwarfs, isn't it? I think it's acceptable, is that? Quick mic update. It's Lucy's mic. It's always Lucy's mic.
It's always my mic. It's always
just,
me.
Just don't touch the lead now and we'll be absolutely fine. But that also goes to me because it's going down by my leg. I think it was on a bit of an angle and it was just pulling it a bit. So I've
Okay.
uprighted it now and we should
So if
be
there's
okay.
one thing Lucy's really good at, it's remembering not to touch or fiddle with a mic.
Yeah. Okay, well, I hope you got that hilarious bit I was doing about Sam saying I have arrived. But if you
I did. I got it.
Yeah, I heard you laughing. John says, almost forgot. I have a countdown. 92 days. Staying in Out of Marvel for 4 nights. 5 days in March. Major treat yourself moment.
In it.
Hello to Odd. Leaving for DLP on Wednesday. Everyone's going or has been. Everyone's going or has been. Voiceover guy. 173 days till DWD. Still saving. DWD. Dalt Wisney Duld. What's DWD?
Walt Disney World. I think it's Walt Disney World, but misspelled.
I like it. So 173 days till Dalt Wisney Duld. Hello to Anne. Not joined the live show for weeks, hoping to catch as much as possible, but I'm on a train. Oh. Well, thanks for trying. Hello to Jimmy and his pink hand.
Voiceover guy says, "Shall I pop round with the XR cable?"
It
Your
must
helpful
be that
neighbour.
cable, guy. It absolutely must be that cable. But it always seems to be on that particular one. Now I've unplugged it and I've plugged you into a different input now, so I'm hoping that might help it. But I guess we'll see.
Hello to Cheryl. Oh, Emily's just checked the countdown and it's 17 days. Managed to add an extra week. Hello to Cheryl. Now I've done my Disneyland Paris trip. It's my first ever cruise countdown, 265 days.
Oh, what? Can you tell us where you're going? Tell us where you're going. 206. Are you doing a European one? That sounds like it might be a European one. That sounds summerish.
Do let us know. And then there's lots of buzz chat.
Buzz, buzz, buzz.
Buzz chat.
It was a typo. It was Dolt Wisney Dolt. I thought I was being a bit thick and someone was going to say, well, obviously, that's a World of Disney Wonder, you fool.
Duld of Wisney Dunder.
Yeah.
Dat Disney ding.
Yeah.
Dat Wisney thing.
Disney World.
Dunder Whifflin.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Right, guys, I'm thirsty. Come on.
Okay, let's do this.
Hey, ole, it's showtime. All together. Your tiki 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 cup in your tiki 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 cup. Well, you made yourself a beverage, now drink it up from your tiki 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 cup.
I've got a little hiding place.
I dare dance today.
No, don't
I'm
move.
too close to a cable.
Don't move. We found these Santa cups, listeners. We've got these like plastic Santa cups in with the decorations, and I was saying, where have these come from? And at one point I said, did Chris bring them for the show? So I watched a Christmas show and actually found a bit where you're telling us in great detail to be careful to screw the lid on, because if you don't screw the lid on and it gets knocked over, I think you got milk everywhere at home, because you've got 2 at home.
I do.
And we've got 3 here. And I'd totally forgotten these existed until we got the decorations out. They're in the Christmas box.
I listened to that very same episode on the way home from Milan this week.
Right.
Because I had very little saved on my phone that was downloaded. So
That's a
I went for
coincidence.
an old episode. Yeah.
And today we're drinking these fancy drinks that Lucy got us. These Dragon Ball drinks. This is Ocean Bomb. This is peach flavour sparkling water, and it's got a lovely purple can with a pink character, which people will know what that is, but I don't, I'm afraid.
Lucas knows who this is. He told me as soon as I got home the other week.
Oh, that's...
and then I couldn't remember.
It's...
yeah, it is.
It's called... Is it Goku?
Yes.
Yeah.
Goku, yeah.
Because when we were in Japan, I got a T-shirt, an orange T-shirt with some writing on it, and I didn't know what it said. And I didn't realise it was a Dragon Ball T-shirt. And then we went into a capsule hotel, and the guy said, sign here, Mr. Goku. And I went, oh, is that what it is? Like such a Gaijin.
Nice.
Oh,
Anyway.
the cruise is on the Fantasy for 7 nights, visiting Castaway Cay, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, and Mexico. That
Nice.
sounds amazing.
That really does sound amazing.
Isn't it Castaway Key?
Yeah, I think it is Castaway Key. Bonnie is in the chat, and Bonnie is still desperate to go on another Disney cruise. That's like top of her bucket list, I think. You know, and evil parents just keep taking us to Walt Disney World. How awful.
Cheers, Lucy. Thanks for bringing this back.
You're welcome.
That's delicious.
Is it not?
It is. I was just just pulling that face because it was fizzy.
Should we get on with some chat? So, let's start at the very end. A very inadequate place to
It's
start.
a very bad place to start, yeah.
So the bistro, the French bistro that has replaced Chef Mickey, is opening on the 8th, which is, am I correct in saying Friday?
That sounds like a day.
I think that's right. So
It's me and my knees. My big knees.
Soft opening on Friday. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because Bonnie's put in the chat cruise with 4 Zs, which sums it up. Yeah, so that's opening on Friday. There's no menu available yet. I'm not sure that there's booking available yet. This was literally just announced. It came as a bit of a shock to me. I do think that they'd said it would be open at the end of the year, but I don't think we've had updates since particularly, and that was a bit of a drop, that, with less than a week to go, to suddenly say opening Friday. Did say soft opening though, so this might be cast members and folks.
They did say originally it was going to be open in December, though, didn't they?
I think they did originally,
I
end
seem
of
to
the year.
remem-
But
yeah,
then
but-
quite often they say that and then they say nothing.
They do, very
and then
often.
it just gets pushed back.
Yeah.
It looks very pretty. It looks very bland, but very pretty. I was reading DLP reports, sort of writings on this, and I don't know if this was speculation or whether they know someone who said this, but they're saying Disney are now trying to keep the parks out of the village because people pay to go in the parks, and it is a world of fantasy and wonder. And the village is a place to shop and eat, and people don't pay to go there. So it almost sounds like the de-theming the village.
Doesn't deserve.
I don't think that's a great reasoning though. So someone's gone, it's because of this. Why is it because of that?
It's like, let's make this less magical. I don't think having wonderful things in the village would stop people paying to go into the parks, which is almost what it was implying. You know what I mean?
I mean, it wasn't exactly magical to begin with. That's not a word I would use for it.
No.
It wasn't your wildest fantasy.
But it wasn't bland.
It was a character meal, though. Look at it that way.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
So I can understand making it no longer a character meal, but I really think it's. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how many locals would go. We're not going to go to their Disneyland. We're just going to go into the village and have a pasta with Mickey. That's all we need. And then that stops them going in. I'm sure it was always a bonus on top of.
I've got my fill of Disney now that I've been to Annette's.
And
Well-
the Lego store.
Yeah.
It was particularly Chef Mickey, I think, that they were talking about. But I don't know. Thing is, it's one of those things that in 10 years' time we'll forget what it used to be, and it'll be a really tasty restaurant, really tasty overpriced restaurant, and it'll be very pretty, and it'll have a nice view of the lake, and we'll all just get on with it. It's only because we've kind of lost this very colourful, highly themed place. Yes, Christopher.
Miss.
Yes.
I don't know why I
Fletcher?
said Miss Fletcher. The thing is, right, this year they've started the refurb of the village, and so far we've had the Royal Pub, and now we've got this. It doesn't bode well, does it?
You see, I don't want to downplay this. It does look very pretty. It doesn't look Royal Pub.
It doesn't look like, your kids are going to have so much fun visiting these shops and
That's
restaurants.
That's the other thing. It does look attractive in a Kath Kitson yummy mummy kind of way. And if you're trying to appeal to...
Sorry, Kath Kitson fans.
If you're trying to appeal to kids...
And yummy mummies.
You know, when you check in at the Cheyenne and then go, let's go to the parks, and then you walk and you see the big balloon, and then you turn the corner and you see Chef Mickey's with the big hands, and you can just
see the...
just see the characters inside, and it's
Yeah.
amazing. I don't think there's going to be any child who turns that corner and gives this a second glance, to the point where he'll say, what was that restaurant on the corner? And no one will know.
No.
But...
Yeah, could you imagine arriving with your family and then go, you're not going into the park until the next day, so then you go into the village, and then they think they're at Disneyland, but they're not, and then you take them into that restaurant, and they're just going, when are we going to the parks? Like, this is boring. I can see that happening.
John Parker says...
We at least went to Rainforest Cafe, because you still get a bit of that, that characterful flavour.
Yeah.
I stand by Rainforest Cafe. I really, as an aperitif to Disney, I really like Rainforest Cafe.
I wish there was one here.
Yeah.
But there is in London and places.
But in Manchester or in Leeds.
Is there one?
Yeah, in Leeds, please.
Yeah.
Up at the
I mean,
retail park, near a TGI's and
don't
Bella
cheapen
Italia.
it. Don't cheapen it. It's got to be
well-
destination worthy, and it is quite overpriced for the food you get. And the food is 3 stars. The food, but it's the whole experience that's quite.
Have you seen?
Good.
I forget the names. It's Ted something, and this other and his friend doing. They visit every Rainforest Cafe in America over the course of a few weeks.
I have.
Oh well, actually, you've seen the one we watched with Ted, but I watched the one of his friend. Like the other point of view, the other perspective, and then they did one where they go to every what's that other chain? It's Jimmy Buffett's or something. They go to every Jimmy Buffett's in America. Is it Jimmy Buffett's?
I don't know. Never heard of it.
So yeah, but they've even taken like the giant. What was it that was round the corner outside Rainforest Cafe? They've taken that away.
Toadstool.
I don't think. Is it the toadstool they've taken?
I don't know. There's still a horrible elephant there.
Is the crocodile still there?
I think it was the crocodiles they took. I don't know. They've taken something. Anyway, I don't want to hate on it too much because it is going to be nice in other ways. There are going to be people who really like it. We don't know what the food's like yet. We haven't heard any reviews yet. It just isn't funsies. That's my point.
Funsies. That's a good name for a restaurant.
Funsies.
Mom, can we go to Funsies?
John Parker says, what are they doing regarding the Planet Hollywood building? That's what I want to know.
Pizza Hut.
Now, was it...
Someone suggested on here. Go on, what?
Yeah, Death Star.
Who was it that suggested
I
that?
think it was a member of the Dunn family. I think it was a Dunn son.
Like a Dunn son.
A Dunn son, I think
It was someone's son suggested turning that into a Death Star hotel restaurant, and it's the best idea I've ever heard in all my life.
Never gonna happen.
Oh!
Not
Yeah.
if what you've heard on the grapevine's true. Then that would be far too much.
What did I hear on the grapevine?
About them not wanting to bring Disney into the village because
Yeah.
they don't deserve it.
Well, that was DLP Report's take on it. Now, DLP Report are an excellent and very entertaining source of
they've
Disney
been right
news.
moody this year, though.
And that's what I'm going to say. And I do recommend you follow them. And I am absolutely endorsing that account. However,
Sass.
they have turned a little bit acerbic in their old age, haven't they? They do like to burn Disney from time to time. So that may just be them, you know.
So do we, but, you know.
Yeah.
That wasn't a buzz. That was me blowing my nose.
They may have been eating a pack of sour sweets when they wrote that. I
Yes.
don't know. Because
Who
they
knows?
do from time to time. Anyway,
Anywho.
let's move on. So, what else have we got? Oh, the princesses
What have they done now?
are in the wild. Well, that pack of princesses, they have the closed Princess Pavilion for refurbishment, which means the princesses are out there meeting and greeting with the rabble the way that other characters do, you know, by the old mill.
So like when Giselle comes into the real world, into New York,
Yeah.
and she's like, woo.
So
Climbing on that billboard.
Yeah.
there's been several out over the week, and they've been, you know, out in the visible places. And, yeah, there's some speculation attached to this. First of all, there's quite a lot of people going, this is so much better. The waits aren't as long, partly because I think the queue isn't hidden. I mean, this is me saying this. This is what other people have said. But when you walk past a meet and greet queue and you see the size of it, you make different
make a judgment,
decisions.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah, because in the pavilion you go in and it goes around it goes around a curve, doesn't it? And you don't really get a sense of how far it is, do you?
No,
I suppose you
don't.
do a little
If
bit.
you go by the pavilion and you're walking past it and you know that's where the queue, it looks like there's a short line of people going in.
And also the fact that you can then actually see the characters. So there's a big allure to going into that magical building to meet a princess, and you can't meet the princess anywhere else, and your daughter is mad for princesses, so you do it. Whereas when you're just walking down the road and you can see the princess,
Yes.
it's not as magical.
And because you don't know who you're gonna get. Like someone was disappointed years ago to get an Ariel with a hairy belly.
No, that's not quite right. People are disappointed to. Oh, I don't think she was disappointed to get Ariel with a hairy belly.
You
She
don't
just-
get
she just
Ariel
got
with-
Ariel with a hairy belly button.
You don't get Ariel in a tail at Disneyland
But she
Paris.
could have made a decision.
But there's that, and then there's the other thought that it's the location itself is very outdated and cramped and not worth the wait times, and that it should reconfigure itself to operate more like Hero Training Academy,
Okay.
which I agree with.
Oh, yeah, that would be good. There was did I see some other meet and greets this week that were a bit different?
I believe that will be at the Christmas party that I am going to talk about
Is
shortly.
that what it was?
I think so. But my other princess-related news, I don't know if she's technically a princess, we haven't seen it yet, is Asha from Wish is meeting in the Art of Animation.
She's smiling, isn't she? Have you seen pictures of her? She's well smiling.
Yeah, and also she's got one of those really quirky, like, full set things with, like, mushrooms with faces and stuff.
Oh.
Let me see if I can find something so you guys can look. Unfortunately, you guys won't be able to look, but I can show Hugh and Chris it if I can find
I can
it.
stand up and hold it to the camera if you like. Or you could hold it up and I'll put your close-up up and that'll make show a very blurry version of it.
We'll see how it goes. I might not be able to find it that quick. Speaking of Wish, I have suggested, I think 3 times this week, we could go see Wish on XX. We could go see Wish today, like straight after dancing class.
Here we go.
could go see Wish. And Hugh just keeps going, meh. To be fair, Bonnie keeps going, meh.
Well,
And I'm like,
I will
what?
happily watch it on Disney Plus in my own home.
that's what you said on the bro show the other week. You
Yeah.
said exactly that. Nah. He said, nah.
Oh,
Oh.
that does look like a nice.
I
Try
like,
holding it
I
up and
like
see
the
if it works.
donkey.
Yeah.
Bit in a bit. Look. Yeah, no, yeah, there we go. There you go. You can kind of see it.
Where did you get this picture, Lucy?
DLP report.
DLP report.
DLP report.
We're basically a franchise now. Yeah.
That's a nice. Like the way it's framed in your phone right now, be a good desktop. Be a good wallpaper for your phone.
It's just, it all looks very nice. And also, I do want to support Disney animation. And there's a lot of discussion about things going straight to streaming and the quality going down and all that kind of thing. And I think the only way you get more of what you want is go and spend money and go see it. And this looks okay. I might go on my own on my Lucy date day.
Yeah, do that.
I've had a very busy, stressful few weeks, and I've got the day off on Wednesday, so I'm going on a Lucy date.
I've got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off,
Ooh.
but I'll be doing work that I can't do in the evening because we're doing a Christmas show. Do you know, have you heard about that illumination animation that's come out? It's like the worst illumination. Like,
it's Kraken.
it's
one,
called
is it?
Migration.
Oh, right, no.
But exactly, that's why. Because the first time all these people had heard of it was in that tweet.
Right.
It was on Threads maybe. Where, yeah, they were saying it's the worst opening weekend of all time. And it's because everyone was going, well, it's because this is the first I've heard of it. No, zero marketing.
Oh.
Unless it was AI and we've just all been fooled.
Yay! Bonnie has just said, no, take it back, me come with. Yes! Should we go after school on Wednesday then, Bonnie? Shall we? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that's my princess talk.
Haven't we rehearsing?
Not on Wednesday, we get the night off.
When are we rehearsing then? I thought it was...
Monday, Tuesday.
Oh. Oh, okay.
You could come with us Wednesday, you're not working.
Nah, I'm good.
Right, last thing. Christmas nights. We've had another AP Pass party. It was on a Thursday.
Ooh.
It had lots of characters.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't listed them all here because when I say a lot of characters, there was a lot of characters. But ones that you don't usually see, we had Bolton Mittens,
Oh.
Carl, Judy,
Carl.
Carl from Up,
Yeah.
Mr. Carl Fredrickson. Is
Yeah.
it Fredrickson?
Yeah.
Yeah. Judy, Hops, Princess Kida. She's not in the Princess franchise, is she?
Yeah. No, she's
No.
not.
We like Kida.
Like Nala. She's not in the princess.
Yeah, she's got
Alonwyn.
4 legs though,
Yeah.
as Nala.
She does.
You
She's
know.
still a princess. She's still a Disney princess.
Alonwyn should be in
Alonwyn.
there.
Yeah, should be.
Mm.
And
Brave shouldn't be.
actually, Princess Penelope isn't a princess anymore, is she?
No. She could have been there for a little while and then gone.
Was she a prime minister or something? What she called? She called herself something else.
Like
She was some kind of senator or something.
Miles.
Miles.
I don't know his last name. From Treasure Planet. No, not from Treasure Planet. From Search for Atlantis.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
My mind, when you said Miles, immediately went to Miles Tails Brower from the Sonic franchise.
The brothers Bear. I'm afraid I don't know their names. But the bears
Bear
are...
1 and Bear 2.
Bear 1 and Bear 2, yeah.
Okay.
Mushu, Robin Hood are the ones I wrote down.
Robin Hood.
There was some Mickey and Minnies in like tartan Christmassy clothes,
How do
looking
you meet
amazing.
Mushu? What form is Mushu in?
He's massive.
Okay.
He's massive, which raises questions. But
Does he? He doesn't ever get massive in Milan, does he? As like a trick.
well,
He doesn't, does
in a
he?
way, because he makes a shadow of himself and then does
Yeah,
that and does a big
okay, yeah.
thing. But no, he doesn't.
Doesn't count.
But let's say he is. So, yay. They also had an opening show, a castle stage show. They did a version of the parade in Videopolis, which sounds interesting. What I presume they did was just took the characters and the dancers out of the parade and kind of did it a section at a time. I'm clicking my key in my pocket.
Okay, don't. Don't.
Okay.
She's not radio trained, people.
They recreated Taylor's Oldest Time, aka Beauty and the Beast, on the hub stages.
That's one I can never remember the lyrics for, and I was go a tale as old as time, a drink as nice as wine.
Strange as it may seem.
A drink as nice as wine.
That is a prime example. Well, okay, I'm diverting a bit now.
Friends
but
and
I'm-
somebody bends
I am.
unexpectedly.
I have a thing about when musical theatre singers are too good for the characters, and I like singers who are a little bit not perfect because
Yes.
it fits the character, and that is the most perfect example. And ironically, she's one of the most famous musical theatre stars of all time, but singing that song, she just sounds so porcelain, doesn't she?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Fragile.
Porcelain performance.
I think so. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, and then they had a closing show on the castle. So all in all, really good. Lots of live entertainment. See, it was a one-off party because that takes a lot of rehearsing, organising, costuming. That is a big financial outlay, is doing original live performances like that.
Yeah.
So good on you, Disney. The characters, again, were not meet and greets. They were selfie spots again. Which I think people like for these parties because I don't know if you follow Walt Disney World news as well, people, but there's been a big old stinky stink the last fortnight in that they've launched a new Christmas party at Hollywood Studios called Jollywood Nights, and people were queuing. It was a 4-hour party. People queued 45 minutes to get the wristbands, an hour to get into the Beauty and the Beast show, an hour to meet one character, and then started to get kicked out of the park.
They were queuing for like 90 minutes to meet Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah. And
Christmas is starting now.
And that's your party. That's your party then. So you've paid for a party and you've stood in a queue. You've met one character. So
It's living the dream, that, isn't it?
in it. I quite like this selfie spot idea, particularly if you are a character collector. If you're able to go and just get that foreground, background photo, and at the end of it go, I've got 15 pictures of characters. I think that's a good thing. Yeah. It wasn't a sellout, but again, the DLP report, which do excellent journalism on this kind of thing, I'm clicking my key again.
It's all right because I hit the microphone exactly the same time as you were doing it, so
Okay.
that will have come across far.
Honestly, you two.
There's speculation that is kind of how they want it for these annual pass holders, because they don't want to limit the amount of annual pass holders that can go. They want to sell more annual passes, basically, and they will only cap attendance when it gets unmanageable for the amount of staff that they can get on. And so not having
And not a moment sooner.
not having a sellout party kind of is almost the aim, if that makes sense, because that means they've sold the maximum they can sell. The minute that you say it's a sellout, I don't know, am I making sense? There's people wanting to buy it who aren't able to, and that really isn't the point of the AP parties. The AP parties are a reward to people who have already bought it.
Speaking of annual passes, did I read somewhere that they're bringing a friends and family discount now?
They're bringing that back in. You can only book it currently from January to March, and there's no evidence that it's going to carry on beyond that. So it's not clear whether it's a special offer or not. So this makes it a bit difficult for like forward planning.
Yeah.
But
The Dunn family are asking in the chat about this. Anyone else got AP? Can't find friends and family option on the app.
No, I haven't looked. I've just seen it on socials that it's available
Yes,
again.
Same.
But I haven't looked for it. But I'm thinking that this just means it's going to roll on, but they're only going to roll it on 3 months at a time, which is fairly typical for Disneyland Paris, isn't it?
Do you think they've realised actually maybe we were a little bit harsh with these new annual passes that don't offer anything?
Perhaps.
And maybe we should just do a little bit something.
They've
little
also
something.
opened room-only bookings online. No discount, but presumably for annual pass holders. Now, that's good because we always booked Disney hotel rooms on Expedia. because there was no other way of doing it other than ringing up, and I don't ring up.
No, I don't do that either.
It's just,
I hate ringing people.
I know, but also it's like finding the right line and then pressing the number and then getting through to the right person, and you know what I mean.
Do you know what's worse than ringing one of those numbers? Ringing someone's mobile phone, because people answer their mobile phones when they're doing anything. Doesn't matter what they're doing,
Having
whether
a
it's
poo,
convenient time or
washing
not.
up.
And so how do you know that you're ringing at a convenient time? I hate ringing people on the mobile phones. I hate it with a passion.
I do. Can we all agree with me in the chat or in the comments that this is the correct etiquette? I text people
Yes.
saying, "Is it a good time to call?
Can I give you a call?
Can I give
we
you
have
a quick
chat?
ring?"
Yeah.
I never call anybody. Well, I've got to ring British Gas tomorrow because I got a letter saying, "Hi, we emailed you at this address." Insert wrong address here because they'd missed a letter. You know, this isn't right. You need to ring us and make sure this is right. And I just think someone somewhere has mistyped it in one instance, and now I've got to sort it out tomorrow because I've been getting other emails. But other than that, I don't call anybody.
No, I'm with you.
And don't call me. I don't like it.
Yes, solidarity. I agree. Except for I do ring the Chinese restaurant on New Year's Eve when we're all at my house and we have a Chinese. I will ring then.
Yeah.
That's it though.
I the only person I do call, well, my mum, I call my mum, but I call Hugh. I don't think he likes it. But also he has trained me to eliminate as many unnecessary words from a phone conversation as possible.
Well, the example I always use is I was working from home. She was about to leave, and she rang me up and she said, "Hiya, I'm in the car. I'm sitting on the drive. I'm looking at the bedroom window, and I've just realised it's open." I was just going, yep. I've got it. All she had to say was, "Ring it. Hello, can you shut my bedroom window?" I didn't have to know why. And I've said this to her before. Like, so,
no, I agree. It's nonsense.
She'll often say to me, "Oh, can I borrow your debit card because blah blah blah," and I'll just go, just say, "Can I have your debit card?" I'll probably just go, "Yeah, all right."
Oh my God, that is the dream husband. All I have to say is, "Can I borrow your debit card?" No explanation needed. I like that.
So I have two views on this. Firstly, yes, you're absolutely 100% right.
Yeah.
That is how it should work.
He is.
Secondly, I love Lucy's storytelling capabilities and the way that she sets a mood. So
I'm not gonna lie to
in
you.
all
It's
honesty-
exactly the same as her mum's telephone technique.
Oh no, I'm
It
not at
is.
that level. I'm not at that
No,
level.
not yet, but you're getting there.
Have you eliminated? Have you done the film thing or the TV series thing where obviously they have to stick to 28 minutes or whatever because of adverts, so they deliberately don't say goodbye on phone calls? Do you do that? Do you not say
no.
goodbye? Just hang up.
Boom. I tell you what, this has made me. I'm rambling now, and I'm aware of rambling. But when I was at uni last year, and we had to write very long essays and dissertations, and we'd be given like a 7,000 word limit, and you would have a lot of very, very obviously intelligent things to say, and you'd realise that your essay was 8,500 words, and I literally used to go through sentences like cutting out, you know, like any word that I could combine into two words, or like put a semicolon somewhere and kind of to get rid of the word and stuff like that. I just went through the whole essay doing that.
See, I'm the opposite. I write very succinctly and directly, and then I have to pad it out with things to make it friendly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Try telling a French operator your long, silly email address was so long.
Oh.
Try having an email address that you have to spell out phonetically because it doesn't make any sense if you just speak it.
Got one of those.
I think does that come from being there at the birth of the internet when
Yeah.
people had.
Yeah,
We're
but the
trying
thing
to be
is,
really clever with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
mine is based on a nickname I had. And that was taken, and a slightly long one was taken. So then I went like stupidly long with it. When I didn't need to go that long. I should have just chosen something else. I should have just chosen my actual name, but I've still got it. But I know people that are called like, you know, Apocalypse Dude 3000 at hotmail.com. Or, you know what?
I've
I
got
hope
a-
that person doesn't get loads of emails suddenly.
I've
because
got a
they chose
very
it when they were like
lovely-
17.
But like
Lovely-
everything on the internet,
now
that
they're
I'm signed up
43.
to, my username is the same pretty much everywhere.
I've got a lovely friend in her 40s, all professional and nice, and she still has the email Smelly Kelly.
There you go.
Probably because she chose it when she was 17.
I have a silly Christopher email as well. I don't use it, but I do have that.
I don't even know what
These
yours
things-
is. It's just like I've never like said it aloud, or I just go, "Oh, it's Chris," because I can see that there's a certain like letter in there. I go, "Oh, it's Chris," but I don't know what it says.
It says Chris Fleck.
but in a weird way.
In a
Yeah,
weird way,
it doesn't use the letters. Yeah, I know what it is, but I'm also not going to advertise it on the
Well,
internet. So.
it was my Twitter handle for ages until we started doing this podcast, and I thought I better change it to make it something more memorable. That worked. I got no more followers.
Right, so I've given you all my news. What have you guys got for me?
Well, Lucy, you haven't given everyone all the news because you haven't shown your towels.
No.
You've got towels.
We were in Home Sense.
Where Home Sense, that's where we were.
And she wanted these towels. Now,
I was feeling a bit spendy. Do you ever feel spendy? You're out there kind of thinking, I'm going to buy nice things
Treat
for
yourself.
myself. Treat yourself.
well, I like it.
December's the worst time of year to treat yourself, though.
Yeah. I like the idea of a Christmas towel, but I'd have gone for something more traditional personally. But Lucy got these set of 2 tea towels.
Shall I unwrap them?
I guess so.
$7.99. So they weren't cheap. I don't know why I got them really. Like I say, I was feeling spendy and I saw Mickey Mouse and Christmas. And the combination was enough for me to get Hugh's wallet out.
Careful on that cord. They are retro enough, but the thing is they are green, so you can see right through them. Just imagine the bits you can see, viewers,
kinda cool, yeah.
are green.
It did look really autumnal.
It's
with
like
the,
it's like
green screen.
It's quite a cold green, almost going on towards teal. But there is something about the colour scheme that is kind of 90s, and I do like 90s nostalgia, especially Disney's 90s nostalgia. Someone passed me in Sainsbury's the other day, and she was looking at some Disney stuff, and she said, and I agreed with her, and she said, oh, I love Disney Christmas things. And I thought, I do too. But then I just, do you know when you say something, afterwards you think, why did I say that? I don't mean that. And I just went, I like, she said, I love Disney at Christmas. And I went, I love gin at Christmas. And then her husband laughed like, oh yeah, us too. And I thought, I don't drink gin at Christmas. I don't. I like creamy drinks, exotic tropical drinks, and Disney at Christmas. You know.
Yeah.
I was like, a gin.
Speaking of Disney at Christmas,
Like a caveman or something.
I'm getting
Sophisticated caveman likes gin.
I'm getting really annoyed, and I know I've shared this with you a couple of times now, but I'm getting really, really annoyed with Facebook pages that just share Disney pictures all the time, and they're all AI pictures with Mickey with 15 fingers and 3 feet, and every single comment is, "Oh, I love this. This is beautiful. This is wonderful." And I keep looking and thinking, why? How do you not see this? It's awful.
This is what's worrying. Is like the minute we see AI. We know it is. But thing is, having said that, something at work happened the other day where we had to investigate some images because we suspected they were AI, but they were very good. And I was having to really pore over it, looking for I was going, well, there's an artifact there. I don't think that's right. The way the ears working there. And it was really interesting, you know.
But is that because it was AI and somebody's then done something with it afterwards, or is it?
They might have done, but they might just have an expensive,
yeah,
an account for some good AI, not like these Disney ones with these
with hair.
He said, "Oh God, yeah, Minnie's got hair long hair at the back." Was it Walt Disney World got in trouble for sharing a Thanksgiving picture? It was based on an older one which was illustrated or painted. And now, in particular, there was a knife and fork that were messed up, but it's because they'd kind of referenced the original and it didn't know how to interpret it and it messed them up. But instead of cleaning that up, they left all this stuff in. Daisy's head looks, she looked decapitated, didn't she? And
Max is freaky.
He is, although I didn't think it was freaky as everyone else said, but I suppose it still was.
It does look
but
quite a lot like it.
Just everything about it was just a little bit off. And it's just you are a company that, is built on illustrators and cartoonists and artists, and you're doing AI. To be fair, I reckon someone worked on it, an artist worked into it, but they didn't do a great job because you could see that it was AI still.
Obviously, hadn't taken that much time.
What are you doing? I hope they've taken that down. Do you reckon they've taken it down?
I don't know.
Let's look it up.
Probably lent into it even more. I saw one yesterday that was Mickey and Minnie on a boat on a cruise ship, and Minnie had 3 tails, three tails, and 3 feet. One of them was just dangling there with a shoe in it. And then
nope, it's still there. They've left it up.
The Christmas one that I sent to Hugh yesterday, or to both of you yesterday, it had these little toys. So it's got Mickey and Minnie and the Christmas tree, and then there's all these different toys, but they're all Mickey, but none of them are Mickey. They're all like horrible little demons with disfigured faces and stuff, and random things stuck to them. It's horrible.
Go and look at Walt Disney World's Instagram account. So this is 2023 Thanksgiving. So it's at time of recording, it's only like 6 posts into it. At first, you might if you're not a visual art, we're visual people, aren't we? Generally,
right.
but like for someone like me, who my job is doing stuff like this. The minute I see it, I go, "Ooh, AI." But a lot of people wouldn't realize it. Look how weird Pluto looks. Look at him. But like Daisy's head's just like it's come off her body. It's not right.
They look like so they're based around the park's characters, aren't they? First off, they look like they wouldn't look out of place if Woody and Buzz, the original park characters, were there.
There's
that's
weird
how
looking
unlike what they should look like they look.
Yeah, they're all a bit dead-eyed and just odd
The
looking.
chipmunks are freaky.
I think my favourite comment on it online was from Hugh, and it said this was a company built on artists.
Well, I said it a second ago.
Did you?
Yeah, were you doing that thing I do where you weren't listening?
I was zoning out. Yeah, I was reading Bob's here.
Oh,
It's
hi, Bob.
true though. The importance of Cal Arts and stuff in the history of Disney, it's just nuts, absolutely nuts. I saw a thing today actually, that just on this matter, that when they did The Mandalorian season 2, and it was Luke Skywalker episode at the end. Sorry, spoilers. At the end of it, when he comes and takes Grogu, that they did a pretty rubbish job of it, and it was really criticised.
Yeah.
And some guy who works with AI, worked with the deep fake stuff and built a better representation of it. There was some of it that was off, and they hired him in the end because he did a better job than the people that they got already could do. So I don't know what.
But do you know what? A lot of these people are like, they're on a tight deadline, and they go, right, we need something in half an hour. And they go, oh, I'll just AI it.
The Frozen Land in Hong Kong is open.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I really like that they've got roaming. They've got citizens of Arundel roaming and interacting with people. Which. Yeah, you're not a fan of that?
Well, I was just watching All Ears, and Quincy was sat she was writing a postcard because there's post boxes there, and then like one of these Arundel citizens walked past and just started going, "Oh, you're writing a postcard?" Like nowhere would someone just go up and just start talking, like just been that inane. Oh, you're writing a postcard? Yeah, yes, you can send them. Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, I enjoy writing your postcard.
There is something about when your job is to interact with people.
Do you know what it is?
What?
When you do an improv, the temptation is to say things all the time. You're thinking, right, I've got to say something funny now. I've got to say something. When that's not what it is, actually. It's about being in the moment and just saying what's appropriate as and when it needs to happen. Occasionally you get a good zinger in there, but I think a lot of people who do an improv just think, I've got to be saying funny things all the time.
But isn't that the same as the mime thing and all that as well? The hand gestures and the, like your video of
over the top.
Yeah.
That me doing that dance in my last DLP video is why I've lost a stone and a half since then. Serious, because I watched it back and I thought, well, I want to put it in because I wanted to make that point, but I look out of shape and I've lost a stone and a half.
Yes. Get in. Well done.
In 14 weeks.
Very good.
DM me for details.
The Frozen ride is the same as the Happily Ever After one in Walt Disney World in Norway in Epcot. Apparently the drop is more intense. I don't know if that means
Yeah.
I don't know if that means it's bigger or longer, or I don't know what that means. But
Maybe
the description was
cope with it quite as well as
and apparently the animatronics faces are better quality.
Right.
Now I think that the Anna and the Elsa in Florida have had a bit of criticism. So again, I don't watch ride-throughs, Chris.
Right.
So
I've watched the ride-through.
Have you?
Yeah. We talked about it.
Chris
2
loves
weeks ago.
spoilers.
I do.
Well, he doesn't mind spoilers.
They don't bother me.
Yeah.
I knew about the horse's head in The Godfather, and when I saw it, I was like, Oh man, everyone had always told me about that. I didn't know it was going to be like that though. Wow.
Wow, that's slightly different than I imagined.
I was watching it upstairs in my bedroom at my parents' house, and I had to run downstairs and interrupt my parents watching whatever they were watching. To say, there's a horse's head in his bed.
There's something funny going in the chat. Lucy, who's actually Bonnie, says, "Hi, Bob." And Bob replies, "Hi, Lucy." And then Bonnie says, under Lucy's account, "No, it's Bonnie."
I don't know if that's
If that's what?
that funny, but
I think it's
okay.
funny.
I don't know, it was good.
Because like, if you just saw it, you'd be like, oh. It's Lucy Rain says, "Hi, Bob." And he says, "Hi, Lucy." and Lucy says, "No, it's Bonnie." but then happy ending. In that case, "Hello, Bonnie." Pretending.
Cute. So are we hoping that ours is going to be like that one? I know we've got North Mountain.
Well, my understanding was it was going to be the same.
I want you
maybe
to take
it's
me
not.
up the
I don't
North
know.
Mountain right now. Yeah.
I think there will certainly be similar elements. I think we know that. But I was under the impression that we weren't getting the Frozen Ever After ride. Because ours is meant to be a bit more of an immersive land, and that's like a storytelling land. But then so is Hong Kong.
I didn't think theirs was supposed to be just the same ride again. I thought it was supposed to be something new, and then we were supposed to be getting the same something new. I thought that was what was going to happen. It's not good, is it?
I'm just happy to have like a little village to wander around.
That's what I want.
As long as there's good snacks.
I'm just looking forward to
If it's Olaf biscuits with Nutella in the middle, I'll be fuming.
I'm looking forward to another teacup ride that's Tangle themed and a London park. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm going to forget about this Frozen land because there's enough Frozen in the world, isn't there? It's 10 years old now.
That's another thing.
Frozen
that
land around
this
here at
week.
the moment.
Oh.
I didn't mention this in the news, but yes, Frozen was 10 years old, and so they had a special Frozen parade. Guess what else they had? A magic shot.
Wow.
With Olaf.
With Olaf.
Shortbreads?
I didn't see shortbreads, but I'm not going to say no. They had a special 10-year anniversary parade, and they took, because Stars on Parade isn't on at the moment because it's Christmas, we get the Christmas parade, but they did get the float out from the Frozen one from Stars on Parade, and they just did a little mini cavalcade with some dancers and a banner. So yay. But you see, no other film gets that, does it? It gets that 10-year, otherwise every year would be having a new 10-year anniversary. So I think.
So this is the thing that I think that Disney need to do. Here's the thing, right? I'm just going to put this out there. This is probably one for the Patreon show, and I'm going to say it anyway.
Uh-oh.
They need to bring back the Vault and chuck a load of those films into it and not have them on Disney Plus and rotate it every quarter, every 3 months or every 6 months to bring 3 or 4 of them back and take 3 or 4 of them away. It'd be brilliant because as a viewer, there's so much on there. It's difficult to decide what to watch. Whereas if new things are coming in all the time, you're more likely to watch them.
That's very true.
Done.
That's very true. That's really
it would
wise.
be fantastic for their assets and their IP to do something like that because it means that their IP will keep circulating and keep gaining popularity.
I agree.
There you go, Disney.
I found that with Spotify. I don't use Spotify anymore because I won't pay for it, and the free version is unusable.
Oh, it's awful.
Like, I don't understand. Like, you can't skip a song, and then it'll just put random songs in that it thinks you like. I don't understand what I'm listening to adverts, like, you know.
Every 30 seconds.
Yeah, so what am I getting from this? But my initial experience of Spotify was you'd open it up and you'd go, right, you can listen to anything. And then I'd just go, and then just turn it off because there's just too much choice.
Too much, yeah, it is.
Oddly, I'd always end up listening to ELO Secret Messages, which wasn't my favourite album, but it's one of my favourite albums now just because I listen to it so much on Spotify. But yeah, it's just too much choice.
See, I used to use Deezer.
Oh,
Have you
Deezer.
seen that Bob Iger has been having a very public spat with Elon Musk?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
no. No.
No, I haven't seen this.
Well, Elon Musk did a very sweary response to the fact that
Hang
Disney
on.
and all these other companies...
They were at like a big convention.
Dealbook
convention. Summit, yeah.
Okay.
So there was lots of like Fortune 500 CEOs and stuff being interviewed at this event.
Yeah.
And as luck should have it, they followed each other. So Iger was first, Musk was second. Continue, Hugh.
Yeah, well, he went on a rant about people withdrawing advertising from Twitter. I will call it that. And he didn't handle it very well, didn't he, Elon? It's so weird because he does this famous response and the room goes silent because he's bombing and it's awkward.
Can I just explain what happened though? Because you've gone on to the response without explaining what happened.
Go on then.
Is that okay? So Bob Iger was on first, and amidst his interview, he was asked, "So you've decided to pull advertising from X. Why is that?"
Loaded.
And he said, quite diplomatically, in a very schmaltzy Bob Iger way, "I admire a lot of what Elon has done. He's created great things with Tesla and SpaceX, and you know what he's built over his career is fantastic. However, we just felt that inevitably X is now a platform that is very heavily associated with him as an individual, and his recent stances on things became quite difficult for us to promote, and we felt by using that platform we were promoting stances that belong to him as an individual that don't belong to us as a company." He says, "We all have our own stances as individuals, but as a company we didn't agree with it."
That's nail on the head, that.
Yeah, I thought he handled that very well.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's
And
a
then-
slightly mealy-mouthed response.
It is.
yeah.
I mean, they say what they've got to
though,
say.
Yeah.
And then, immediately afterwards, 15 minutes later, the next interviewee is Elon Musk. And he used some naughty words. I would have sent him to the headmistress.
He recommended that all those people doing that get to know themselves intimately.
Yeah.
Ah.
But it was also like, well, don't advertise this with us then. What, you're going to blackmail me? You're going to blackmail me with advertising money? Don't advertise. Don't advertise. And do you know what? X will, he was saying, the platform will...
He actually called it Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
In this moment.
No, don't do that.
Sorry. He said the platform will, what did he say? Be destroyed or disappear or something, implying it would crash. And everyone will know whose fault it is.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, it's the companies that stopped funding it, he was saying, and it's just embarrassing.
And then the interviewer said, "So are you saying that if Disney don't advertise with you that people will boycott Disney?" And he went, "They already are." But he was very schoolyard bully about it. But I've also seen a lot of people say he handled it fantastically.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
On X, no doubt.
Yeah.
He says, "Get to know yourself intimately," in different words, and he looks out to the audience and he keeps glancing back. He's tweaking a lot. He looks uncomfortable. You know, there's speculation about, you know,
narcotics.
But speculation, I will say. But that's just purely speculation.
Yeah, of course.
But he's looking out to the audience and it's silent, and he repeats it, and there's kind of an awkward laugh the second time. But this is the thing, right? Sensible people go, "Oof, he's bombing." And all his blue tick fanboys are going, "Oh, it's brilliant. He said this, and you could have heard a pin drop."
Or a tumbleweed roll.
Imagine if a stand-up comedian said, "Oh, it was brilliant. I said this killer funny line, this punchline, and you couldn't hear a pin drop." Or you could hear a pin drop. You know, it's funny how the different they were saying, "Oh, he was dropping bombs, he was dropping truth bombs everywhere," and other people were saying he was embarrassing himself and he wasn't handling it very well and he looks angry.
But he's been embarrassing himself constantly.
Yeah.
On a regular basis since he bought Twitter.
Yeah.
I think the bigger problem here is between Ronda. Everything is a boxing match these days. Everything is, big recognizable thing versus other big recognizable thing. And between Ron DeSantis and people like Elon Musk just kind of facing off against Disney, it puts Disney in a very combative stance that perhaps Disney never wanted to be in.
Yep.
I don't believe that they woke up. They will serve their their loyal fan base, and they want to make sure that everybody is welcomed and everybody is treated equally, and they have those values. But then they've been forced into probably a more aggressive and extreme stance that they ever intended taking on. I'm going to use the word woke here, not because I like the word woke or I think that any of this is woke, but it fits in with what I'm trying to say. They've been pushed into that more extreme combative stance than they ever wanted to be. That's my take on the situation. Does anyone agree? Was anyone on Elon Musk's side thinking he was talking sense to me and Bob Iger's a silver fox, but he ain't all that? Anybody? Boys?
Well,
Have I gone a bit?
seen it beyond but what you've told me, so I'm going to have the sit on the fence, but I imagine that I'm probably aligned with what you guys are saying.
I did see a lot of the blue tick fanboys going, just cancelled my subscription, my Disney Plus, just cancelled mine. There's a bit of that, but there's always a little bit
afford to pay for the blue ticks, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, but there's always a little bit of that. But then, like, people see that and then they go, see, they're leaving in droves just because they've seen 5 people say it on a Twitter.
So, any toilet news at DLP then? Just to bring us back round before we leave.
I don't think so. Do you know of any
No, I
toilet
don't know any
news?
toilet news.
Oh. Right, should we have one fun, quick question before we leave then? Because we did go a bit serious.
Oh,
then.
well, Chris just said,
Oh no, I was just going to say, well, if anyone's got a question, yeah, bang it in the chat quickly before we finish. But I just wanted to quickly say that it snowed a bit here, and it's not very nice on the roads. So I'm afraid for you Patreon guys, I've cancelled tonight's EMT because I've got to somehow get home, and
he's
I'm
got
not
to drive
entirely sure how
round
easy
to
it's gonna
his
be.
side of 37 Disney Street,
Yeah,
which is like, it's quite a long.
It's a long 20-minute.
It's a long street.
Drive.
Are we still doing that?
We'll always do it.
Chris has to go to his actual house, which is in another town. Okay, you
Yeah.
happy?
Actually, I live in a city.
We don't live at one place, but we
Yes.
do. But we do in our hearts.
Yeah.
We do in our hearts.
Yeah. There was something else I was going to ask you. Are we doing a Christmas type episode this year, and what we're going to do?
Oh, we should, shouldn't we?
I mean, it's been pretty Christmassy. So look the way we're
I know.
dressed, listeners.
You can't see it, I'm hiding
Voiceover
behind a
guy
tree.
says, quick question. Anyone else built 3 pieces of IKEA furniture during this episode?
What? With
Well,
big
no.
pieces of furniture,
That
guy.
has to be some kind of record. Footstools. He must be building footstools. Dunn family, has anyone got new AP or is it just me? No, but we are discussing it. We're in talks. We're in talks.
Oh,
aren't we?
There you go. I'm not in a talk. I'm not in a talk about getting one because I don't think I'll be able to use it.
Well, you were in our talks.
Well, I know. We talked about whether we should get them, but for you guys, it's nice and easy because you can have APs and go and do stuff. But for me, I need to buy 4. So that's not really financially viable right now.
And for those that are interested, Voiceover Guy is building Kallax storage.
The best. Like a bit of Kallax.
Right, shall I do my outro? Just because I'm sat slightly further back than you guys today, I look like I've got a very tiny head.
Ah, well.
Look at the comparative head size there.
But it's always been a bit like that, hasn't it? For some reason, on the extremes, it makes everything bigger.
Anyway. Bonnie is saying, Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you, Bonnie.
I mean, we'll be back before actual Christmas, so...
Oh, yeah.
If you say Merry Christmas, I feel like it's final.
We
Yeah,
won't.
we've got like another 3.
Are you here next week?
Actually-
'Cause have you got a...
One of them's
We're doing a Saturday night, then we're here, yes.
one of them's
Yeah, right,
Christmas
cool.
Eve, isn't it?
I was just about to say that. Christmas Eve is a Sunday, and I presume
Yeah,
that
we
we
can't
won't
do
be
that.
doing
I shan't
that.
be able to do
No,
that.
we
No,
can't
But
do
I'm
that.
just wondering if you want to replace it with a midweek, either before or after for funsies.
Possibly could do.
Possibly.
Let's have a chat about that. So do we want to do our Christmassy thing the week before that then? Is that in 2 weeks' time? Gosh, it's very soon, isn't it? On the 17th it'll be, won't it? Because
Yeah.
we're going out on the 15th, aren't we? On a lad's day,
I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not a lad.
lad night. Yeah, so 17th, Christmas. Good, because I've got a couple of little presents for you. I'm quite looking
Oh
forward to
yeah, do you
giving
know
to
what? I almost bought you something the other day, and I remembered I got you something in summer.
Yes, you told me that you got me something in summer, which I don't know what it was, but you told me that you got yourself the same thing,
Yes,
and not
and-
to get one for you without telling me what it was. So
Oh.
I didn't get you something I was going to get you because I think that's what you've got me.
I sense that.
Did we have this discussion though at the time, and it turned out you guessed wrong?
No,
Oh,
I
we haven't had that
sense
discussion.
that we've had some listeners.
so I'm quite looking forward to seeing whether it's
what colour is it?
I'm not talking about it.
Okay.
I sense we've had some listeners getting ready to turn off the podcast for about 5 minutes now, and we're still
Please
rambling.
just go away.
So thank you very much for listening tonight. I've been Lucy, these two boys.
We have.
Bye bye.
Ciao, Bella. Take care. Do you want to build a
Buonanotte.